Can you explain the lore in this game? I'm so glad you asked. Alright, you ready? You ready? You ready, chat? No, I can. I'm a nerd. Are you ready? Rayclass is an island that bodes a lot of history. It's been home to several civilizations in the past, but no one knows what happened to them. All they know now is the land. It's barren and desolated, reeking of death. Nearby Rayclass is the land of Oriath. Oriath is basically normal land, okay? Nothing too crazy happens in Oriath, right? Oriath is vibe on, okay? However, in the town of in the city of Oriath, if you fuck up, they'll send you to the prison island, you know, which is Rayclass. They'll exile you to Rayclass and leave your fate to the gods. You are a person, okay, who did some shit and fucked up in some way. And for whatever reason, you have been exiled to Rayclass, a land unknown, destined to die, or destined to become your bitch. One of the two. Alright, depends if you suck or not at making builds or not, okay? So, let's hypothetically. Okay, so basically, you wash up, okay? Basically your ship gets shipwrecked. Everyone presumably dies except for one person who washes up ashore with you. And they're like, I'm alive, I think. Let's get up and get out of here. And then a zombie wakes up and eats his ass. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you grab a stick and beat it to death. And you're like, holy shit, man, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? And you're like, oh my god, the dead really do rise in Rayclass. Oh my god. And you're like, what the fuck? Then, travel along the beach, now a bit more like cautious. Somehow, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense in the lore really, but somehow you will wander upon thaumaturgic gem, right? These are skill gems. In the lore, these skill gems are basically actual gemstones that can be infused into either an item or a body. You choose to stick it in the stick and whack shit to death, and you notice that you're now capable of powers that you never had before, right? So you're basically able to like use these weird gemstones that you find in the land to fuck shit up. And this is important for later. This is part of the lore, by the way. This is important, okay? You taking notes? Are you taking notes? This is important. Gemstones are real things in the game that exist, okay? Are you ready? Spoiler alert, by the way, gemstones are poo. This is true story. Gemstones in the lore, this is true. Gemstones are poo. I'm serious though. I'm serious. Every single gemstone is a poo. No, it's real. It's real. It's actually true. I'm not memeing. Anyway. No, I'm seriously not memeing. Anyway, anyway, you end up in the first Act 1 town where it's basically a bunch of like homeless people who are like gonna die, and they're like, what the fuck, man, this place sucks. And you're like, nah, it's not that bad. And then they're like, yeah, but you haven't seen Brutus. And then you find Brutus and you kill him. And they're like, holy shit. Well, you haven't seen Mervale yet. She's pretty scary. And then you kill Mervale, and you're like, what the? And they're like, what the fuck? This guy just killed Mervale. Like, what the fuck? That shit's been like fucked for weeks. And you're like, yeah, it was easy. I just like 3-linked my fireball. It was easy. It wasn't even hard actually. So then, anyway, while you're in Act 1, you encounter Piety. Piety is basically, she used to be a bit of a hoe in Oriath, but in Rayclass, she's actually quite proficient with these gemstone things, and she's actually helping someone she's helping the High Templar Dominus to discover the power and utilize the power of these gemstones as well, because they want the power as well, because the people in Oriath they actually know about the gemstones, and they're like, holy shit, we want the gemstones too. Gemstones are sick, right? Log in. I want to play Fireball, right? Because like, imagine that you had Fireball IRL chat. Like if Australia had Fireball gems, you would want to go to Australia too. Not to live there, just to like steal the Fireball gems, right? Because that'd be sick, right? So anyway, you find Piety. Like I said, so remember, Piety is working with Dominus. Dominus is who exiled you in Oriath, okay? So you don't like Piety. Like, she's kind of talking shit to you and fucking, you know, she's like kind of being toxic. But you're like, fuck you too, right? Alright, so now you're in Act 2, okay? You're in Act 2. You haven't died yet. You're getting more powerful. And you've beaten Brutus and Merveil, okay? Now you encounter a band, an encampment, what do you call it? You encounter like a town of like people. And you notice as well that you're starting to get more inland and discover more of the land of Rayclast. And you hear talk of a temple, like a pyramid, sorry, of an ancient civilization. Not like from recent times, but from thousands of years ago, like well in the past. And this, you'll come to find out, is the Vaal civilization. The Vaal civilization are basically a super ancient, basically Aztecs, to be honest with you. It's literally Aztecs. So you know how they like vanished overnight? The Aztecs, it's like the civilization just disappeared randomly. That's basically Vaal. And it's like, what happened to them? Like, what did they do? Like, they were so powerful and they had such cool technology and they built such cool things. But now they're gone. Like, what happened to them? We actually don't find out until POE 2. Isn't that cool? We just found out that Aziri caused a boom, like a big boom. Like, we knew she did it, but now we got to see the boom. How cool is that, chat? I batted. I was like, oh my god, that's the thing. That bitch? I know. But anyway. Basically, it turns out, chat, this is a bit of a spoiler for ahead. But basically, these gemstones tend to have bad things happen to them. Basically, gemstones are nukes. If you fuck too much with the gemstones, chat, you'll basically nuke civilization and cause a big nuclear explosion to happen. It's like, basically the history repeats itself. Because first it was the Vaal civilization, then it was the the Esmeri or whatever. And then it was the Blah and the Eternal Empire and shit. Like, basically they just keep nuking each other repeatedly. They literally discover nukes and then bomb each other and then it resets. They just keep doing it. But anyway, I'm skipping ahead too much, alright? So anyway, you explore the Vaal civilization ruins and you fuck that shit up and you end up accidentally awakening a shadow of the Vaal. That's the big, like, you know the big slammy tentacle guy in the top of the pyramid? That's that guy. He's basically like an ancient Vaal shadow guardian thing, powered by the Vaal technology from 1 billion years ago. Most of the Vaal civilization is in ruins, but some of them are like being reawakened due to like zombies, I guess, and some of them are just like awakened because the Vaal technology lasts for a long time. But anyway, you do all that shit, very cool. Then you make it to Act 3. In Act 3, you get to see the San Empire. This is the Eternal Legion Empire. This is the last empire that was affected by a cataclysmic event. So they were actually a more modern civilization that just basically fell apart. Which I'll get into as well. This is relevant too. Now, this is also where Dominus and Piety have decided to make their base, right? This is where they're experimenting on the Vaal gems, right? And I think there's also some chick, I don't know what her point is, but there's also the Gemling Queen, and she basically stuck a bunch of gems in her ass. Like literally, like no meme. She literally stuck gems in her body until things happened. I don't know why. I don't know if she did it on purpose or if somebody did it to her. But because you can stick gems in weapons, or you can stick them inside of you. Yeah, maybe she was an experiment. I think she was experimented on. Okay, so Malachi stuck them in her. Yeah. So anyway, basically, as it turns out, people are conducting these experiments, and it's really fucked up. Piety, as well, is going on this journey of thaumaturgical science, where she's like cutting people up and sticking gems inside of them, and she's creating all these horrors. Like, you see, you know how there's like a bunch of people that are like on fire, like burning miscreations, they're on fire? And you know how there's like tentacle monsters, there's human beings with tentacles for arms and shit? That's basically Piety sticking gems inside their ass, and it turns them into like monsters. That's why there's a bunch of monsters in Path of Exile that look all demonic and shit. Because they have gems inside their ass. So are you following along so far, chat? Does it all make sense so far? Are we all on the same page? Basically everything to do about Ray class has got to do with gems. Yep. Okay. Now, at this point, chat, you might be wondering, what are gems exactly? I said they were poo. What does he mean? I'll explain. Are you ready? This is where it gets real wild. Are you ready, chat? So anyway, you go up to Dominus and Piety and you beat them because you're just a god gamer, basically. All right, you're Ben in this timeline. Okay, you're Ben. You fuck them in the ass and they get beaten and they're like, oh no, you beat me. Oh no. Even though they're like pretty powerful because they've experimenting with gems for so long, you beat their ass, right? And then you get to find out the source of the gems. So you make it to Act 4 and you encounter a mountain. Now there's another group of people, another town at the base of the mountain, and they tell you stories. That's the Esmiri, right? That's the Act 2 in POE 2. You know those people? It's like those people, right, chat? But anyway, at the base of the mountain, they tell tales about this mountain and how it's like sealed because something is wrong with this mountain. Like this mountain is like, there's some shit going on, right? This mountain is alive, right? Turns out, this is where it gets really fucking weird. I don't even know how to explain this. Like if everything so far wasn't weird, this is where it definitely gets weird. Basically, the mountain is actually a beast. Literally the beast from POE 2, chat. It's the same, that's the same mob type. You know that tentacle grotesque monster, chat? Just imagine that it kept eating. And it just kept eating forever. Eventually, it literally turns into a gigantic mountain monster thing. And basically what it does, the purpose of the beast, is to consume the gods' energies of the land, right? We're talking Katava, I'm talking, what do you call it, Abarath, Rislatha, all those gods who once ruled over Ray class, right? Think of like ancient gods, right? Basically, the beast is there to put them to sleep. It eats and consumes the energy of the gods so that they slumber, and basically puts an end to the reign of the gods so that human beings can like live, because gods are basically like fucking shit up all the time, right? And so what happened is the beast then, shit you not, this is true story, this is actually real, when the beast eats the god energy, it poos out gemstones as a byproduct, and then we stick them inside of us to cast Fireball. That is actually how it works. I'm not memeing. That is the law of POE. The reason we can cast like slams is because we stick poo inside of our weapons that augments them. This is how it works, chat. Isn't that cool? Is this why slams are shit? I mean, they come from shit, so yeah, exactly. Isn't that cool? Anyway, now it turns out, now this is where it gets even weirder. Now you might be thinking, what does he mean weirder? Well, remember how I said the mine was sealed, but the mine was alive? We enter the beast's butthole. Literally, the beast has a butthole. And that's why it's called the belly of the beast. And that's why it looks like an asshole inside of it.
Oh. Brother, your build is shit.
But anyway, and it turns out inside of the beast, Malachi, who was responsible for the downfall of the Eternal Empire, is inside of the beast this whole time, and he's been like experimenting and infusing himself with the beast and communing with the beast. And remember, chat, remember what I said about explosions? The current theory is that basically the power of the beast is so alluring that eventually people will do some shit to the beast that will cause a cataclysmic event, resulting in the destruction of Ray class temporarily, like a hard reset, kinda. And basically we stop Malachi from doing it. We're just like, fuck you, Malachi, bitch. Anyway, we also end up killing the beast as well.
Are being selfish.
But remember how I said that the beast eats the gods' energies and keeps them slumbering. After we kill the beast, all the gods wake up. Walkage, chat, walkage. So now there's a bunch of gods just like, oh my god. Yeah. And so now, all of a sudden, gods have just woken up everywhere. They're just like walkage. And it's causing chaos and mayhem in Oriath and in Rayclass. Right? There's the Katava's awoken, the god of endless hunger and all this shit, and it's all fucked up and holy shit. Malachi is literally just like Dominus, basically. He wanted the power of the gemstones, chat. It's not that complicated. But anyway. So, that's when Sin is like, you need to stop this. You know, you have to stop the gods. You have to. He's like, I will help you get the power needed to stop the gods. In order, you know, and then you go on it. You basically, you get a bit of the power of the gods each time you beat one of the smaller gods until you can fight the bigger gods, until you can eventually beat the god, which is Katava. Then when you beat Katava, the campaign's over and you save the day and it's over and you won, chat. Yay. Okay, so then, okay. You are now the hero of Rayclass in Oriath. You know, you saved the day. Yay, you beat Katava. You're the slayer of Katava, chat. Yay. Then, you're like, ooh, what's up, Map? And Zana's like, yo, what up? I'll help you, Map. This is the original story, okay? So Zana's, well, I don't know the exact, like, how they retconned it, but I'll explain how I understand it. So you go into maps and explore maps with Zana. Because Zana basically is a cartographer. She's an explorer of the Atlas. And she explores these, like, these worlds, these, like, these maps. I don't know how to explain them. They're kind of like alternate realities or something. I don't know how it works exactly. I don't know exactly how maps work, like, exactly, but they're just, like, other worlds, I suppose. It's Stargate? Yeah, it's Stargate. I've never watched Stargate, but I get the meme. But anyway. And the reason why she's exploring these, like, fractured timelines or alternate realities or whatever is because she's looking for her father, right? You see where this is going, right, chat? So she's looking for her dad, who went into the Atlas, like, these alternate realities and got lost. And she's trying to find her dad. And so you're like, okay, I'll help you, Zana. Then, when you're exploring these alternate realities, there's a monster in the alternate realities called the Elder, and the Shaper is actually fighting him this entire time. He's been trying to stop the corruption from spreading, right? All this like the black goo shit, right? This like corruption's spreading, right? He's basically this epic battle between the Shaper's Guardians and the Elder's Guardians, and it's like an epic battle, the war for the Atlas, chat. Okay. Anyway. I believe canonically, you fight Shaper, but before you can defeat Shaper and make him see the truth that his daughter is alive and well, and that he can stop fighting the Elder and he can reunite with his daughter, because he's gone a little insane, basically, chat, right? He's gone a little, you know, he's gone a little bit back chest. The Elder grabs his ass and corrupts the Shaper. And then Zana's like, "Oh my god, we have to stop them! Oh my god, we have to save him! Exile, do something!" And then you end up fighting Elder and Shaper together. Shaper's been fully corrupted now, and it's like this epic moment, chat. It's this epic gamer moment where you fight the Elder and the Shaper at the same time, and it's like, oh my god, it's cinema. Unfortunately, you cannot save Shaper. You have to kill him. He's dead now. He died. You kill Zana's dad. You actually killed him, chat. I can't believe you did that. It's fucked up, chat. And you don't even kill Elder. I believe you technically just seal him away back to wherever he came from. So it's kind of like sad timeline, actually. It's a little bit sad. Yeah. Elder gets sealed. Shaper dies. It's actually sad, chat. Yeah. Woo! Anyway. Now you might be thinking, chat, you might be thinking, yay, we did it. Oh, and by the way, in this example, you don't do it solo. So in this hypothetical example, chat, you know how there's 6 portals when you enter a map? 1 portal is for Zana, 5 portals are for the Elder Slayers. So one portal is El Hasmin, one portal is Drox, one portal is Veritania, one portal is Baran, and one portal is Cyrus. And then one portal for Zana. That's how it works, chat. True story, by the way. Actual true story. Oh, sick. Yep. So, these were known. Chat, who killed the Elder? The Elder Slayers. What do we call the Elder Slayers in Path of Exile? What's the Elder Slayer invitation? Baran, the Elder Slayer. Veritania, the Elder Slayer. El Hasmin, the Elder Slayer. Drox, the Elder Slayer, and Cyrus. They were a group of mappers who with Zana beat the Elder back. Turns out, chat, that at this point in time, canonically, you go insane. Yeah, you actually go, you get stuck in the Atlas and go insane. How cool is that? It's like you know how they did it in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2? You know how like in Diablo 2 we fight the characters from Diablo 1? That's how it works. Yeah, you get stuck in the Atlas and go insane. How cool is that? Zana steals them away on purpose because they were getting too strong. Yeah. So anyway, now at this point, you are now a new set of exiles, right? You're now like a new group of people, right? I believe. Now you want to go and explore the Atlas as well, but this time Zana doesn't want to help you. This time Zana's like, fuck you, exiles. How fucking dare you go in here? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. You're not allowed in there. Get the fuck out. She actually says to the chat. This is a true story. She actually does. She says, get the fuck out. She doesn't like you. You know, because she knows what happened the first time. She remembers, like, what happened to the Elder Slayers and how they went bat chest, right? But anyway, you're too curious, I guess, or, like, you just want to help or some shit. Anyway, you end up going back on the Atlas anyway. And that's when you encounter the previous Elder Slayers that have been stuck in the Atlas. Yeah, obviously, you fight them as, like, Baran and Al Hasmin and all that kind of bullshit. Anyway, long story short, you end up fighting them one at a time until you eventually find, or you get the attention of Cyrus. He's kind of like the main guy. He's like Ben, basically. So Ben basically decides to like fuck Oriath up, so he comes out of the Atlas. I think he accidentally freed him somehow. And that's why when you fight him, chat, you're actually fighting him in town. Like, I don't know if you knew this, chat, but when you fight Cyrus, you don't fight him in a map. You fight him in Oriath. He comes out of the Atlas and starts killing everybody. He's like, I can finally stir something. I'm gonna kill everyone now. I'm gonna kill everyone. He goes completely batshit. Yeah, he goes absolutely batshit. But then, you, in an epic battle, 1v1, you beat his ass and kill him and defeat Cyrus and save Oriath. But it turns out, canonically, you die as well. Canonically, the character that beats Cyrus also dies, chat. Yep. Then I believe there's a next generation of exiles that fights Maven, and honestly, I'm not as big of a fan of Exarch, Ida, and Maven, because like canonically, like it's all about who's the guy who yaps all the time? The yappy man? The envoy, yeah. The envoy's kind of too like vague. Like he doesn't really speak words, he just kind of yaps all the time. But anyway, basically, Ida, Exarch, and Maven are kind of like... Are they loosely related to the Elder? Is that how it works, chat? Like, they're not the same, but they're similar, kind of? The others are lesser, right? So anyway, now that the Elder's been sealed away, Ida, Exarch, and Maven come and explore the Atlas now. And then you end up fighting them, you beat them, and then PoE 2 happens. I mean, I don't know what happens between Maven and PoE 2, to be honest. I don't think they ever finished the story. You're basically all caught up now, because they never really finished the story fully. They kind of like paused the story at like a really awkward time. But that's basically the story so far. PoE 2 is after PoE 1. But yeah, anyway, that's the story of PoE, basically. Yeah, did you like it, chat?